I'm with Elana Heideman from Israel Forever Foundation. The Bible says that he that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. We've just seen victory for Israel after taking out Nasrallah. How do Israelis feel today about this news?
Celebrations abound everywhere, and not only amongst Israelis and not only amongst Jews. We are seeing celebrations in the streets of Lebanon. We are seeing celebrations throughout Syria. So many hundreds of thousands of Syrians had been murdered by the tactics of Nasrallah and his terror regime of Hezbollah. So many of the Lebanese have been used as the human shields by these terror organizations with the help of Iran. Even Iranians themselves are celebrating. We saw in London and in the United States at the Israeli embassies, Iranians are coming with their flags and saying thank you. We've been receiving photographs of signs from communities in these countries saying thank you, Netanyahu, the king. Actually, we'll even say that the celebration has reached social media amongst Arab media, who has put out a song and a tribute to what they are calling Bibi, the king of the Middle East. So we see celebrations happening everywhere.
Who was Nasrallah?
Nasrallah was the head of Hezbollah, who was put into power after having served during the revolution. He became the powerful leader of the underground terror network, the military network that basically took control of whole societies with the funding of Iran. They became a proxy army that maintained control over the southern region, in particular in Lebanon, but also other areas of Lebanon. And they have really embedded themselves so deeply that they even had their ballistic missiles being housed for compensation to families in people's extra bedrooms, in people's living rooms. And the IDF, with their technological genius, have been able even to demonstrate to the world the infrared scans that show civilian properties where Nasrallah was using the innocent people as their shields for their weapons of war. So this is a man who is responsible for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of deaths, not only of Israelis, but Americans and Lebanese and Syrians and other countries around the world.
How powerful is Hezbollah?
They have become very powerful over the years because of the funding and support that they had from Iran. I will say that today they have been brought to their knees, weakened by the beeper bomb genius of Israel's intelligence efforts, and now by the taking out of its entire leadership. And you have to understand the precision of the IDF and the Israel Air Forces. The precision allowed them to take out each structure, not only Nasrallah's bunker, but each structure of where a Hezbollah terrorist was being hidden, each structure where a Hezbollah missile was being hidden, but to minimize the harm of the innocent civilians, even those living in the exact same building. So it's very important to realize that they were powerful, but Israel is freeing the world of evil as we speak.
Do they have a lot of missiles, Hezbollah?
Yes, we know that they have over 150,000 missiles. For years, this actually has been used as a ploy in the debates with the Iranian nuclear agreements that had happened, specifically under the leadership even of Obama, who enabled Hezbollah to be the military arm protecting Iran from any serious sanctions to stop their nuclear program. Now Hezbollah's missiles are increasingly being taken out by the Israel Air Force that has uncovered them and is destroying them in their entirety. They have also, you should know, been used as a cover for many other elements of terror, which includes sex trafficking of young girls and drug trafficking as well. So they were powerful, and they yes, have many missiles. But one thing that's actually come out in the news recently is that they did not have as many missile launchers. And Israel's genius in their tactics has been to take out as many of the launch sites as possible, which means that they will not, even if the missiles continue to be in their possession, they have no way to fire them. And it allows the IDF to continue to find ways to extract and destroy the missiles, preventing any potential future missile launchers from being created.
Mm. Now, Nasrallah replaced someone who was assassinated by Israel. Is anybody going to want to replace Nasrallah?
Well, already within hours after the assassination of Nasrallah, a new leader had already been appointed. And I believe it was within a couple of hours after that, he also was taken out by the IAF, by the Israel Air Force. So does anyone want that position? We should hope that the world is waking up even amongst these societies so that the terrorists themselves see there is no future to their philosophies, to their ideologies, to their methods of terror. Will there be another leader who emerges? I'm certain that they will be, and I feel quite confident that Israel will continue to take out these leaders the way that the free world should be taking out. America did it with bin Laden. We have other leaders throughout the years that have been assassinated, and we need to continue this practice in order to show the world of terrorism that they cannot and will not be allowed to thrive any longer.
Now, Hezbollah is embedded in southern Lebanon, and southern Lebanon is a buffer zone. Is the United Nations to blame for this?
I would say that it's very difficult to create a singularly directed blame at the United Nations alone, because there are other countries and other bodies that enabled the embedment of this terror network throughout the region of southern Lebanon. Do I call it a buffer zone? No, not necessarily, because they've actually eliminated this safe zone. And we have seen now since October 8th, when Hezbollah entered the war against Israel, we have seen that they are right there on the border. There is no security buffer zone between Israel and southern Lebanon at this time. And I do want to quote actually a woman who is formerly from southern Lebanon, who talks about growing up there and being able to drive into Israel and working in Israel. There used to be peace until Hezbollah became embedded. Can we blame the United Nations alone? No. But do they hold a large amount of responsibility? They certainly do. And they also hold responsibility for this long war that has continued unnecessarily because the United Nations has tied the hands of Israel. They continue to demonize Israel, even to the extent of most recently passing a resolution to de-Judaize Israel, to eliminate the Jews not only from the whole of Israel, but specifically from Jerusalem. The United Nations policies are directed by United Nations organizations and governments who they themselves are driving the agenda through anti-Israel Jew-hating bias. The United Nations should be disbanded, or it should be gutted from the inside and rebuilt anew, much like Gaza itself, so that all elements of terror can be uprooted and extracted, and an honest body for the rights of the world can do the job that needs to be done to prevent terror from controlling our lives and our societies. The United Nations has blood on its hands. The current United Nations chairman, many of the representatives, also in the European Union and the America areas, we are hearing more voices expose their support for terror organizations. And the United Nations needs to be held accountable, right alongside UNRWA, which should be disbanded for its support of terror, and the International Red Cross, which is completely responsible for the neglect of now still over 101 hostages who remain in captivity at the hands of Hamas in Gaza, and there has been no effort made by these international organizations to demand the release of the innocent. And let us remember, the innocent include a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, 15 elderly, and 10 women, not to mention our young men and our fathers and those who all deserve to be brought home. So as we come upon the October 7th memorial, we hope that everyone realizes it is Israel who is saving the world. And we need these organizations to be held accountable because they are guiding their own ignorance and inactivity through their Jew hatred.
Mm.
We want everyone to be living safely in a world that is just for all human beings.
How has Hezbollah's rockets affected the citizens in the northern Israel?
Since October 8th, already the missiles began, and hundreds of thousands of families have been evacuated. They have been living dispersed throughout the country. Unfortunately, many of them now once again are under missile fire because of the expanded distance of some of these Hezbollah rockets. The northern communities have been destroyed for the most part. Entire forests and agricultural fields have been wiped out. We are very blessed that the government of Israel has taken care of our displaced families who unfortunately receive no humanitarian aid from any single humanitarian organization in the world. And they had the wherewithal to remove the citizens from that area out of the desire to prevent another October 7th or the loss of more life as a result of these missiles being fired endlessly. As we know, 12 innocent Druze children were murdered by a missile sent by Nasrallah, by Hezbollah, directly onto a soccer field in Majd al-Shams on our northern communities. So we know that our families, even if they have been taken from their homes, and those who are resolute and staying in their communities, everyone is affected. And in truth, the entire country is coming together to try and provide for them for this upcoming holiday season, to give them some sort of solace, some sort of comfort as we come upon 1 year since the onslaught and the beginning of this terrible war that Israel has been forced into.
What is your prayer, particularly for the soldiers at this time?
I hope that our soldiers remain strong and are able to channel the prayers of our gatherings all over the world, that we can send them and our hostages continued strength during this difficult time. Our soldiers are facing very challenging circumstances, and we want to make sure that they are able to keep their morale up, that they're able to keep their spirits high, and that they are able to know that everyone is supporting them, that we stand by and we know that this, the most moral army in the world, is doing everything it can to bring peace for humanity. I pray that the world will look at those who are demonizing Israel for the extraction, for the elimination of Nasrallah and the Hezbollah leadership and terror network, and for the bombings in Gaza that are required to take out the Hamas terror network. I hope that my prayer is that the world will wake up and look at those people around you, and you will see that they are guided by nothing more than Jew hatred, and that each of us has a job to show them the light, to teach them to truth, to help them understand that Israel and the Jews are not the enemy, but rather it is Israel who is saving the world. And I pray that more people will realize that, and so our biblical prophecies can be fulfilled, that he who blesses Israel shall be blessed, and he who curses Israel shall be cursed, and that all of mankind will be welcomed in our temple in Jerusalem. May it soon be rebuilt so that there can be peace amongst all human beings.
What is your website for people who'd like to know more about the work that you do?
Learning about Judaism, Jewish people, Israel, and everything under the sun is what we do at Israel Forever. Come and check out israelforever.org. Follow us on social media. Be a part of the necessary information campaigns and take part in some of the meaningful craft activities that we offer for this very special time of year. We invite everyone to take part in a very unique craft, which is the October 7th Kalanit Forever Memorial Project, where people can create a ceramic kalanit, the red flower that is the national flower of Israel. And these ceramic flowers that are a part of remembering October 7th, they will not die, they will last forever as a mark of our continued connection with not only the fallen, but with the hope that these flowers represent, that they too shall bloom again. So we invite you to israelforever.org. Come and follow us on every platform and let us know if you need anything in your community, because we are here to help you feel Israel at home and to feel proud that you are a part of one of the greatest nations, even as a friend, a righteous among the nations who join Israel in our fulfillment of our ancestral destiny. So come and join us, and thank you so much for being a part of it.
Well, Elana, thank you very much for sharing today.
Thank you so much for having me.